I stand firmly in the fact that I'm one of the best to ever do this. For the culture, for my coast, and for my city. This is the Best Rapper in LA podcast. And I'm your host, Murs. What up, though? All right, y'all. A lot's happened since I sat down. LA. Lots of fires. I believe Snoop was saying something where it's like there's natural disasters. We just don't have them as often as other parts of the countries. Has them tornadoes and hurricanes and winds and rains and blizzards. He was just humbly saying like it's our turn, and he's just really proud of how the city is coming together. And I think that's it.
Everybody's doing good. The family's doing good. Just a couple of intermediate people that I do know that I consider family that, lost everything. So, we did what we do. We come and we support and we pull our troops together and we make sure that we represent and we give them everything that they need. The world sees its own tragedy because if you think about New Orleans, they see their tragedy. You think about certain parts of the world that get tornadoes and things of that nature, which takes the whole city away. It's just California, this is like our first time dealing with it. And the way that California is coming together, the way that the world is helping us, that's the important thing, is that people are coming together and they're not looking at differences. They're just looking at trying to make a difference.
I don't know anyone who doesn't know someone who was affected. Just to be very, I like clear communication without hyperbole. It's hard for a rapper to say that, but I think that's what gets shit done. And that's why I love my city, because people are out getting shit done.
Everywhere you turn around. And again, it's going to take definitely some time for folks to come out here to assess everything that they have lost and just exactly how long and how much it's going to take them to rebuild.
And to see this horrific times happening right now, and seeing community come in with hope, come in with love, come in with passion that, no, we're not going to give up. We're not going to give up.
What motivated you to be a part of this?
I'm for the people, by the people. That's just what it is. You feel me? If we in need, I'm here.
I actually came down because my family lost everything as well. And I was coming down for the resources that was given out here. And while I was here, I realized 10,000 of my neighbors were out here as well.
These two incredible people lost their home in the wildfire this week, but they are here today. They are helping feed people that have lost just as much as they have.
Sometimes we feel alone, we feel isolated, like, oh, no one cares. But then at the end of the day, when tragedy happens, just seeing everybody from all over Corona, San Diego, all over the town, they come and support.
Just giving back. That's what Los Angeles is about. It's giving, and she's right. You see it in person, and it just takes your breath away.
Because this is Los Angeles, and these are the angels.
This is tragic, but it feels manageable. And I think that there's immediate work to be done. Shout out to all my friends that are out there working, and people are clearing streets. And, to give a real perspective for those of you who aren't here, I feel like most of the people who listen to this my fans are local, but my brother's best friend, who just a couple years ago officiated his wedding, and I was the best man. I stood next to this man, and, we had drinks, we danced together and all this other stuff. Like, his house is gone. He has suffered a devastating loss. I think that's when you get on this citywide devastation. God willing, we never know it on that level. So I'm going to put some real links to GoFundMe's people I know. Fat Tony, a rapper that I've worked with, I feel like we've mentioned the podcast, who listens to the podcast, lost his home. Devastated. Coffee, aka the homie Augie, who did the cover for Def Cover, lost his home. He is a father and a husband. Devastated. Tony is a husband as well, and a dog father. Like, these are just three people right off rip that I can name. Then there's people I haven't talked to in a while who, people I went to church with whose moms let me stay at their house, like, house gone. People who, right after losing a parent, weeks later lost a home. But, some people in parts of Altadena are still without power or water. I just found out today. But like Watt's homie Quan on the internet is still like from Instagram. He's Instagram, so like he's out there. Everybody's pitching in. I don't know anyone who has a need that isn't getting pushed towards meeting that need, and that is a blessing. When I think a city being devastated, I think of, like I said, people with no hospital, not even being able to drive to clean water.
Tonight, the UN says northern Gaza's last major hospital is out of service following an Israeli military raid. The Kamal Adwan Hospital was in an area under siege for more than 80 days, according to the World Health Organization, with repeated attacks by Israeli drones, while terrified patients and staff sheltered within. Israeli forces stormed the facility yesterday, calling it a Hamas stronghold and saying they arrested 240 terrorists. Asked for evidence of their claims, the IDF provided these pictures of handguns and what they said was a bomb.
NBC News medical reporter Erica Edwards has more on Gaza's growing water crisis and the health impact it has on the millions of people who are trapped there right now.
They have no power, and now they are running out of food and clean drinking water. As the conflict in Gaza continues, the lack of water threatens to make an already catastrophic health crisis worse.
Gaza is being strangled. We all know water is life, and Gaza is running out of water, and Gaza is running out of life.
Israel cut off the water it supplies to Gaza, as well as electricity and fuel that power a large portion of its water treatment plants.
The city of Los Angeles is not devastated. I personally don't like that term. The city of Los Angeles is healing. Some cities have experienced extreme tragedies, and there are people within those cities that have experienced devastating loss. There are lives that have been lost, and those are, of course, life is the most precious thing. The people who made it out. And then the memories in some of those homes in Altadena, yes, are Black homes with great, tremendous history. My stepfather being one of those people who was born in Austria, but basically raised. And the kind of, like, his dad died early and was served in the army with the man across the street. So the man across the street looked out for him. His mother was the first Black superintendent of the Pasadena school district. Like, his history is there, those schools, a lot of those schools, or most of those schools are still there. The Boys and Girls Clubs are still there and operating. A lot of the churches, I don't know of any churches that were lost yet. I hope not. Like, those are hubs and centers of community in Altadena, which is a very Black organization. I feel like I feel like I'm one of the first, if not the first rapper to mention, like, I mentioned Altadena, LA, and Pasadena has been a huge part of my upbringing, shaping my hip hop culture. All these record stores, barbershops I grew up going to, and churches, spent a lot of time in there. When I moved to the San Gabriel Valley, my parents were very, very interested in keeping themselves and us plugged into the Black community without having to drive to LA every weekend, even though we drove to LA every weekend anyway. Sundays were in Pasadena, and haircuts were done in Pasadena because it was the nearest Black community to Glendora, California. And I did a semester of high school at John Muir. Hiking and some of those, like ditching school to hike, I was that kind of person, to get high and just walk into the mountains. Some of those hills were burned. It is sad, but I feel like, I said, it's something that we can bounce back from. Nothing will ever be the same, but hopefully it can be better. I think a lot of people were asleep, even Black Los Angeles. Like Angela, I've been rapping. I got a whole song called Down in Dina.
Now down in Dina where they do that dirt, I got into a little drama trying to pull this skirt. Now don't trip, the 626 put in work, and if you slide and you slip, then you will get hurt. Now this is where I call my first misdemeanor, the sleepy little town that they call Pasadena. The crime got expunged when I turned 18, but what I can't forget is this chick named Janine. Now they got 2 major high schools out there, Murs and HS, but this girl went to Blair. Light skin fair with some really long hair, used to do it at her mama's house cause she didn't care. We met at Murs, back in summer school. I was OT, got into it with a ton of fools.
And so many people, come up to me, like, I don't really know anything about you, but my homie played that song because I'm rapping about the King's Village and Church's Chicken. And, you know, this is way back in 06, 07. Because I wanted to rep for Dina. Because I knew rappers from Dina, but none of them were where I think they deserve to be. This whole movement before me of indie rappers and Foundation Funk Collective, so many dope artists from Pasadena. So I always want to give a nod to them. PCC is still there, which is the community college where you used to go digging in the 90s for records before eBay, where you could actually like dig and come up on like great soul and jazz and hip hop records, some hip hop records. A lot of Southern California culture, Altadena, Pasadena. The Palisades I'm not really that plugged into. Not that's tragic. I just don't have a hard connection to that area of LA. I'm just learning that area of LA. But I have hella friends that went to Palisades High, and all of it is sad. I'm glad. It seems like a lot of people were able to make it out and have a chance to rebuild. I am preparing for the long run. Like, what can I do? Donate and put together once this initial wave of, because a lot of tragedy, the initial wave of carrying is huge, and then I'm looking at it as a marathon. Like, okay, 3 months from now, what can I be prepared to do? What can I be prepared to give? Like, I am not devastated. I am lucky and I am blessed. Maybe I'm here to tell the story. Maybe I'm here to share information, but definitely I'm here to get my ass to work, to be prepared to contribute when everyone else's battery may be low or their attention is elsewhere. Because if this is the way the year starts off, who knows what's next, you know? There are things that rightfully will deserve more attention, but I am definitely in the spirit of continuing to help locally and not stopping until people get everything they need, and then working on getting them what they deserve, because no one deserved this. Could have been handled better. There's all that other stuff I'm not concerned with, or I'm not equipped to discuss. But you know, it's sad because people are like, oh, like, you know, announcing my tour kind of went sideways. I had that plan for Friday, and is it insensitive, you know? And people were criticizing other rappers for doing it. I'm like, everyone else that was able to go to work, that went to work, why, you know, some people, you know, why aren't artists allowed to go to work? I can afford to hold space and like postpone the announcing on my tour, you know, and then, you know, things like the person mastering my album lost their home as well. So that's got pushed back, and who gives a fuck, really? That person lost a home, you know? So it's something that's affected everyone, but I like to zoom out and really, you know, especially being a Black person in America, I really like to watch what I call tragic and what I call devastating personally. And I like to, you know, I feel like they win, and they, you know, there's people who want to bring attention to it. And I think if you speak honestly and, like I said, without hyperbolic jargon, you'll get your point across, because there are people who are definitely have bad intentions and using big words or buzzwords like devastating, because then maybe you feel immobilized. Maybe you feel too small. But I don't think that works on Angelinos. I don't think that works on real humans who aren't scared to roll up their sleeves. But LA can use all the support and help we can get. Some people are saying less socks and more dollar bills. Today I heard actual lanterns, and because there are people still without power. And that's things like when the noise gets so big, you can't get real messages through. Like today, like, hey, this place at this address needs lanterns and flashlights and batteries. Boom. You know, these blanketed things about water and blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I wonder, like, who is this serving? Is this serving the right people? You know, just be mindful. There are no fast fixes to anything worthwhile. And something like that. The devastation was fast, and the rebuilding is going to be slow. With that said, like I said, I'm going to put some links to people I know with GoFundMes that really exist. And if they make over their amount, I know that they're involved in their communities in ways where they're going to pay it forward in a proper way. And if you're feeling helpless, I think these are real ways to get things done. I don't know anyone who's, you know, so far I don't know not about what the Red Cross is doing or FEMA, or I know Joe Biden sent us $700, like shit like that. But these are real families and need connected to the hip hop community, which is my community within Pasadena, and the Black community, which is my community within Pasadena, and the faith-based community, which is another community I've participated in. Yeah, so this is personal, man. My personal journey with the fires is, I forgot to say that. That's what I can really speak on with authority. The rest is just my ideas. I could be wrong. You could disagree. Fuck me. Yeah, the winds were high. I have a kid that's really sensitive to allergies. One sensitive to like respiratory things. One sensitive to digestive things. They're middle kids. And a baby who's just easily stimulated by anything at this age because all is new. My eldest is on break right now. But, you know, you first thought, okay, the winds are coming. We know Santa Ana's and Wildfires is dry. Got it. I live in Inglewood, probably not in the most danger. But get the kids inside. Then we could see the smoke coming. Like, I thought it was a huge cloud, and I was like, oh, shit, this shit is cooking. Everybody in the house before the smoke, you know, for the debris starts to come this way. And kids start coughing. You can smell it in the air. We do have some friends that live in Palisades, trying to not mention their names, but, you know, they were safe, but they didn't know about their home. But they, you know, a lot. It is and isn't true. Like, there are a lot of people there are you know, financially stable enough where it was like, okay, this sucks, but and just aware enough, like, this sucks, but we're gonna be okay. We get Airbnb, boom. So I started looking at Airbnbs. We need to get the kids out here, but I'm like, you know, during COVID, one of my rap friends that is more successful rapper was like, you know, when it was time to send the kids back, I kept my kids home because some people don't have the choice. There are people who are nervous about putting their kids back in crowded spaces, but they had to go back to work. I don't have to. We don't have to. Let us keep our kids back for as long as possible on Zoom so that the other kids can have space. I have the ability to move my family and get an Airbnb, but is there a family that really needs that Airbnb in San Diego or somewhere else? Can I use this money to go get another air filter for the house? And so in the morning, I got up I was waiting on Jay's, 6 a.m. at Lowe's, ran in there, got some masks, got some shit. You know, I thought it was going to be more people, but I'm super paranoid. But also, you know, later too, like, it's the asbestos, it's the things that burned, unfortunately, in these homes that is now in the air, mattresses, just all types of shit you probably shouldn't be inhaling. So I was, you know, being a freestyler, I'm thinking 50 steps ahead, and I'm usually wrong and making mountains out of molehills, but I was happy. And then plus, because I have a respiratorily sensitive kid at home. So I went, got the air filter. But what I also love is my community, because my son goes to BJJ with a girl whose dad works at Lowe's. So it was, you know, just dope seeing someone in a moment where the city is like just being able to talk, and everyone, it's just, I love what the trash, like, you know, lay out front. It's like, are you wearing masks? And I saw the lady around the corner that always gives us kale from her garden. She's like, are you and the boys okay? If y'all need anything, let me know. Like, it was just, we were already there, you know? And I love that about community. I'm not going to say it's just the LA thing. I hope that everyone should have community like that. That's why, you know, me coming off the road, people ask, why are you retiring from wrestling, rapping wrestling? Because I wish it was wrestling. So I can go see my kids that have friends from wrestling and BJJ and meet those dads, meet those moms. Because when when shit goes bad, it's not always going to be able, you know, 911 needs to be out there doing the firefighting. If we could figure out how to make it work amongst ourselves, we're providing more support for those of us who are real, like, in danger and experiencing devastating loss. If we can figure out how to get power, you know, use generators, so that I love building community, and I'm not able to build community being on the road 200, 150 days a year. I'm the weird, it sucks, but, like, you know, I'm the weird dad. If I'm like, oh, I come to one or two of these every year, but I like sitting out there with the dads watching our kids roll, and, like, you know, I didn't know he worked at Home Depot. We don't talk like that. But I walked in there, I'm like, oh shit, what's up, bro? He's like, what's up? What you need? Oh, it's over here. I got you, blah, blah, blah. Get this one instead of that one. Like, that's what being off the road and having normal human hours does for me. Eventually, you know, like, then they sent out a fake evacuation notice, and then we all got this app, Watch Duty, and we're watching the fires, and everybody's texting and communicating, and then, my grandparents both just had strokes. So they're, have round the clock care. But if power goes out, they have needs. And so these are things, all these things where we're thinking, who's going to go pick up who? And are they able to breathe? Do they have filters? Does a person working with them have filters? Are their family in danger? Do we need to go relieve them so they could be with their family? Like, all these things are going on. Then I start to get sick. And then my wife starts like freaking out because we get they say, oh, that was a false alarm. The Amber Alert thing that goes to every phone. That was a false alarm. Then I try to calm down, but then, like I have little kids. So then they're like, pack your bags just in case when the false alarm comes. So we pack the bags. And now I'm like, shit, I should have booked that Airbnb now, But then the kids hear the alarm go off on the phone. They know that's different. They make it so, like any human would know that there's something wrong when that goes off. So they're on high alert. Then they see us packed. Now they're even on high alert. Then we calm down. We find out it's a false alarm, but we leave the bags by the door. And when they see that as they're walking to bed, now they're on edge when they're sleeping. Then at 2 a.m. and 4 a.m, there are 2 different alarms that go out. And so I just say, fuck it, man. Like, just even I don't know what's going to happen if we're not in danger, the stress alone. I guess I had the flu or whatever. Maybe there's the pollutants in the air, but I laid out for a couple of days. I packed the car, got the kids out of there, went with some family in San Diego for a couple of days. Then the other kid that just got done being sick was like, then, during the second day of the fires, one of my grandparents was readmitted to the hospital. So my mom's out there driving them around in all this confusion and chaos. Like, that's the thing people don't think. Like, babies are still being born. People are still having surgeries while there's fires raging all around you. It is fucking crazy. Still, I wouldn't say that it's devastating. It is chaotic. It is catastrophic. It is it is a disaster. The focus is on, and rightfully on, where the fire is. But then there's still regular life shit that is traumatic and devastating loss on personal levels and, financial things. And, like I got through all of it, like I got, I'm sick, but I got to move put everybody's thing in the car. The boys want their scooters. They got to have their bikes. They got to have their Godzilla toys, like everything. And I got to drive. And it's just adulting, and being a human is challenging. And then putting on the literal, turning up the heat on it all. But keeping a mindset of gratitude of we're not fleeing for our lives, we're fleeing for our safety. And being mindful that there are people very close to us that had to flee for their lives and lost a lot. And putting on your hat, like I said, getting into work, because I definitely have to be of service. And to be of service, I got to do my job. That's how America works. If I was growing cucumbers, I'd have to get back to growing cucumbers. I fucking rap, I do a podcast. This is what I do. Yeah, if anybody else can join, can tell someone else to join, rate it. We're definitely maybe getting looked at for some sponsorships. So I never cared about the numbers, but hey, fuck it. If you know somebody, just tell them to give us a rating. Listen, because obviously this is not a music podcast. I haven't talked about music in whatever minutes. Yeah. Then I get home, and then another of my homies that I've known for 30 plus years dies of a stroke in front of his mother. Just out of the blue. Shit is rough, man. 2005, I started in the New Year's Eve in the emergency room with the kid, and it just seems like it hasn't let up for me. I don't know who else is feeling like that. And then I was like, oh shit, I started to get a permit for the first video for the thing. I've never permitted a video in my life, and I never want to do it again. Nothing wrong with the city of LA, but I figured it'd be a lot easier it's easier to, if you're an indie artist, keep shooting guerrilla style. They don't make this shit easy to shoot real videos. I never had to pull permits before this. And I was like, oh shit, I spent $900 so far pulling this permit. I better follow up or I'll lose my $900. I got 30 days to complete this shit. But yeah, you think the county of LA film, whatever, is going to take into account me being sick and fire and friends passing away? No. But this is, like I said, I'm not special. I'm sure you all have dealt with or are dealing with things like that. So God bless you. I love you. And if this makes you feel seen or heard, then I'm glad. If it's just entertaining, even better. Yeah, man. That's it. But that was all leading to through all this, there are things to celebrate. I have a 21-month-old. That dude says shit every day that is astounding, and funny and just bright, and he loves his dad, and that makes me so happy. Not that the other ones don't love my dad, but they definitely have a preference, and it's the person with the boobs. This guy is still breastfeeding, but is the only one that has given a fuck about me while breastfeeding. So there's that, and then Ninth Wonder's birthday is today, January 15th. He turns 50. And I love that man. I wrote him a letter last night. Happy birthday. If you don't ever tell me happy birthday on the internet or just ever, it's okay with me. But, if you want to send me a real text or tell me something nice when you see me, that's what counts to me. Or grieving, like people post, I just don't grieve that way. I don't usually celebrate that way. I got to maybe get better at it for marketing's sake. But anyway, yeah, for those of you who came to Escape, let's move on to music. So that happy birthday, Ninth, and to talk about some music. To Dance With Me is one of my favorite beats he did. We both really enjoyed this song. He understood what I was talking about. He does a hook the back and forth. That back, it wasn't, I forget, I'll remember the R&B song. We'll put it here. Anyway, Knife on the hook with back and forth.
We back and forth, we back and forth. We in and out, we in and out. Is this love? Is this love? What's this about? What's this about? We forth and back, we forth and back. We out and in, we out and in. Is this love? Is this love? Or we just friends? Back and forth and forth. Back and forth and forth. We move back, we move forth, we move out, we move in. Now they're playing our song and we're dancing again. Then there she was, and I forgot.
This song was about, let's just put it out so I can try to dance around this. TV celebrity I was infatuated with, that I had it in with, and we just became friends. And I didn't give up. If you're friend zone, don't give up. Friendship means a lot. Marriages don't last without friendship. I don't know if maybe they do. I don't think they do. They've lasted without a definite physical attraction, though. That's for sure. Yeah. She was from the East Coast, but finally, when she was into me, I had somebody, she shot me down and there was friends on me, worked my way out of it. Then we fell out of touch. She got engaged. I found out at South by Southwest. That was my South by Southwest. I had a nervous breakdown on stage. I did Then This Is For and just walked off the stage at the Rhyme Series thing. I was so mad at the fucking liberal, leftist, racist, white fans that I had. Not all of them are like that. And I don't know why people think This Is For is about every white person that listens to underground hip hop. It's not about everyone. It's about a certain type of motherfucker. So I was supposed to perform, and I just did This Is For, and I ripped my shirt off and just started getting blasted. And because the girl was at South by Southwest, when South by Southwest got film friendly, was there with her new fiance. I was hot, but still trying to be nice to her and him, and just hot. Tore my ass up. My heart was oof. And I was mad about that. So, and 316 hadn't dropped yet. No one knew This Is For. I just did the beat, the song raw. No one had heard the fucking song before.
Damn, times done change. These thugs do what they like. Some of them be your friends to try to find a new wife. They still hit the block to sling rocks at night. But you can be dead wrong with your pockets right. Contrary to what the legendary being had to say. You don't have to sell.
And yeah. Songs like My Long Distance Love, Never Thought It Would End. That was nice, producing my vocals. My long Distance Lover, I Never Thought It Would End was what Nicholas wanted to rap. And he was like, My Long Distance Love, Never Thought It Would End. teaching me how to rap. I thanked him for that in my letter last night.
From the moment that I met her, I knew she'd be mine. We were twins, best friends, perfectly aligned. I love Carrie Bradshaw, she loved Hennessy. We were two halves of the same energy. She was from NY, I was from LA. She said that she liked me, just not in that way. And that was okay, I went her heart through friendship. But once I had that, there was the distance. I dated round the way, she dated local dudes. We had something, but neither of us wanted to move. We knew we'd be together, we didn't know when. But long distance love, never thought it would end. The feelings never changed until the call came. You were engaged, I was in pain. It was such a shame the time and it just wasn't right. So I said good luck, and then I said good night. We back and forth, we in and out,
Second verse, I said hella hit it off. It's still one of my favorite. I love alliteration, guys. Hella hit it off. Woo!
Back and forth and forth, back and back and forth and forth. We move back, we move forth, we move out, we move in. Now they're playing our song and we're dancing again. Then there she was, and I forgot. We were in love, she took your spot. Shot through the heart, I never thought I'd feel so good. I was appreciated, I was understood. She was from my hood, we hella hit it off. I had to lose your number, she said we couldn't talk. But I keep tabs on you through mutual friends, kinda hoping that your engagement had come to an end. And then it did, but I didn't care. You were into me, I just wasn't there. I had a girl, and I couldn't leave her, but she could tell I loved you, so I had to leave her. You and I talked, we made a deal. If this should ever end, we would be friends still. Deep down I always knew I'd never be complete until I knew this thing between you and I was really real. We back and forth, we in and out, Is this love? What's this about? We forth and back.
This song, to me, is a dope song, and I don't know, I think people like me want story. I never thought it was so great because it didn't have a huge ending, but it's something I needed to get off chest because Ninth is a mutual friend of ours, and I knew she would hear this song. So it was important to do. When I heard Dance With Me and whatever, it's crazy that I just got married and I was making this song. But it wasn't with any longing for this person. It had our relationship had a definitive end. I just felt like it was proper to put it on a song. I heard the beat, this is what came to me. Ninth was with it because he understood the story. And but Fiction That Goes Nowhere, a friend of mine, shout out to Davis Powers, who listens to the podcast, has been trying to encourage me to write. And he, I never knew that there was fiction that just like, there's regular fiction stories about, here's this fiction story about a firefighter or people at a country club that have an argument. And this is kind of it. Like, I never got too specific. I think it'd be more interesting if people knew who the person was and I added all the details, but I was able to add more details if I didn't say who it was, but still not enough because that would have given it away to make it. So I was like, it's kind of interesting, but the beat is dope. And I think the wordplay is there. The hook is there. There's an allusion to an older 80s jam. It was just very Murs and Ninth Wonder. It's a girl song. It's a story. It's a dope beat. There's a vocal sample in it. Then I'm rapping to the vocal sample, but it's not just about dancing. It's about a back and forth romance, a dance, and seeing a romance that didn't work out as a dance rather than a waste of time. Because you dance with so many people over your life. If you're a clubber or whatever, and not if it ever goes anywhere, but that moment is still special sometimes. That's why I thought I wanted to give this relationship life and document it as a dance.
Back and forth. We move back, we move forth, we move out, we move in. Now they're playing our song and we're dancing again. The first time we made love, it was unreal. Let's go get them rings, it was a done deal. Wonder why we wasn't doing this the whole time. We named kids, looked at cribs, the whole nine. We planned the wedding, we told our friends. They said that we were happier than we had ever been. It was exactly like I thought it always turned out. A future so bright, eventually it burned out. And there it went, down in flames. Too many differences, too much the same. We yell and scream, we cuss and fight. Relationships need balance and we were just too much alike. Now we only talk on funerals and birthdays. Probably should've never got together in the first place. But all this dancing and messing around helped me finally realize when it was time to settle down.
Like, now that I know you can write fiction that goes nowhere, I've been working on lots of stories, but I don't know if that'll ever come out. I'm really in a religious phase where I'm like, is any written thing important? aside from the Bible. Probably not, but I still like my comic books. But yeah, working on a couple books, and this song reminds me of stories that I tell in the book that may not be interesting, but are kind of interesting if you write them correctly and can paint a picture. I like this song. I don't know how many streams it fucking has or anything, but that would tell me. I guess I should look at that. If people like this song, or you guys can let me know. This is like a deep, as I said, album cut. Oh yeah, nah. Yeah, it is the second least liked. These are two Tale of Two Cities, and this one. And this is, yeah, maybe not, man. This is in 9th place on a 10-song album. Yeesh. Okay, Davis. Nobody wants to hear stories about nothing. But I said, funny how if I would have dropped the name, this shit would have went. Yeah, this is like a pretty famous girl, and I remember being on Melrose, and we were walking. Me and my homie had our tattoos showing. I believe she had one tattoo or something. Tank top, like this is still like probably 05, 06. People with tattoos weren't super norm, facial and all. Homie had facial tattoos, all these tattoos, and then he's an Latino person and a black couple walking down the street. Everybody's in their tank tops. I'm not gonna say wife beaters, but I said it anyway. To give you a picture, shopping bag. We, Melrose doing rap. I'm doing my rap shit. You know what I'm saying? My little homies, outside, just, like mobbing. Dude just approached the homie the wrong way. Like, he's my homie is one of those dudes. You don't do that. Fuck you looking at? I don't know, pussy. That's my homie turned around, what? Like, and so of course this dude hops up. It's like an Armenian dude. Shorter dude, and he comes up to the homie and is like, I'm holding a bag of comics, of course, Golden Apple, cute girl with me. My guy stops, so then like the guy of course said it's the little guy, the two littlest guys out of the group. I'm not much taller than my little homie, but I'm he's my 5'5", I'm 5'7", 5'8", 5'8", 3/4. Girl I'm dating is 5'5". She's taller than those two. So they're like the pit bulls, like, rrr. And then I step in with the comic books. I'm like, look, I'm holding comic books. I'm with my girl, guys. I was like, this guy will fuck all, and there's two huge dudes behind that. Two other Armenian dudes are huge. And how do we know? Because they start talking some Armo Pride, something crazy. And I'm like, you guys don't want it with him. He loves this kind of shit. He's not joking. And so then the other guy jumps at my homie, like full on lunge, like peering, whatever it's called when you're fucking fencing, like one arm in the air, one arm extended with the shiny, I thought it was like a steak knife or a shank. And he like slashed my homie's chest. And my homie grabs his chest. I grab his chest. Like I'm looking at these dudes with one hand on his chest. My homie's looking down. I'm looking at him, looking at them. And then his homies look, and like, it's like in unison, like it was a comedy. We're like, his friends are like, a butter knife? And we're like, a butter knife? And that was it. Bop! He took off. I took off on one dude. And then I swing, and then I push my girl back with the other hand. And then I'm like ready to fight. And then I'm like, oh shit, I got to stay with her. And she's talking shit. She's like, yo, you try to stab my mans with a butter knife? The fuck is wrong with you? Fuck out of here. And so of course now he's coming toward her and me. And so like this dude stabbed me in my hand. I remember like, it's a blunt object. So he got me, and I'm blocking it. He got me good. So I'm bleeding a little on my hand. And I'm like, and meanwhile, my homeboy, the 5'5" dude, has knocked out punched one 6-footer in the face. He's bleeding, stumbling back. The other 6-footer saw what happened, ran inside to get a glass, broke it over my homie's head. As he breaks on his head, he hits the other dude. Then the other dude that was bleeding goes back and gets another. These are 6 foot tall, over 6 foot tall dudes. They're taking turns running into the restaurant to throw glassware at my friend who's 5'5", and I told him he was going to put the hands of God on him. They did not believe me. He is giving them the business now. And then this dude, the short pit bull dude, is like trying to stab me and my lady with a butter knife. The helicopter comes out on Melrose. People are screaming. We take off to the alley. I got to call the homie, like, bring the burner. These niggas tripping. It's, like, my neighborhood, as far as I'm concerned, for anything gangster, my homies and my hood is the last of it. Once you get to Wilshire, it's a wrap. And first thing you touch south of Wilshire is us. So I'm like, all right, come, let's go. So we run off in the alley. We duck off in the alley. And this is part of where I rob. This is where I merge stories. This is part of like how to rob with Rob that comes later, hiding in this alley.
Young, dumb, full of coming, ready to run for my life, but he said, hold tight till the cops come. Fuck out of here, made a right, doing light speed. Hit behind the dumpster in the alley, was a tight squeeze. Heard the cops say freeze and heard some shots. Then I thought about Rob and I thought probably not. I hid in the alley for like 4 more hours. When I finally walked home, I was feeling like a coward. Took a shower, passed out, face covered in tears. It was so surreal, everything felt weird. If not for God's grace, I'd be a dead motherfucker. Woke up the next morning, went to work with my mother, earned enough for my turntable set that summer, and I put Rob on my first mixtape cover.
So now I got a beautiful, talented television actress with me, or maybe not. She's not active in the years at this time. So it's like hiding behind a dumpster on Melrose, hiding from the police helicopter because we just participated in the fucking brawl on Melrose for absolutely no reason. I'm telling my homie, I'm like, this isn't where you're from, bro. When the police catch us, because they cut off the alley, he was mouthing off. And the other girl's from the East Coast, she has a passport. Why do you have a passport? And she's mouthing off like, we don't all have a driver's license, bro. And I'm quiet because I know from stories and just being in Inglewood holding tank for detention center, I know what happens. I don't want any parts of the county jail, bro. And I tell my friends, like, you are Latino, like we aren't talking once we get booked. I can't help you, and you're not from here. Let's calm it down, bro. Let's walk it all the way back. We didn't start the fight, even though we look like because we have the tattoos and we're the people of color. And when it comes to comparison with the other Armenians, not that my Armenian brothers and sisters aren't people, POCs. But at this point, I'm like, shut it up. They brought out the chopper. There's 2 to 3 cars. They, of course, let the Armenian dudes off with nothing. We get banned I'm banned from that street in Melrose. Technically, I don't know how long this ban and how lawful this ban is, but I was banned from that whole side of the street in Melrose. It's where Goodfellas Italian restaurant used to be. That's the guys were eating at Goodfellas Italian restaurant, and shit got funky. We walked away, and then once the police disappeared, my homie came back because the Armenians were circling the block like they were about to do something. I don't know if they had another butter. That's why I was like, bro, like, I don't know what you thought this was. I don't know who I look like to you, but I was like, I hope when the police leave, you're not still trying to circle because we're going to air your whole vehicle. I'm going to walk up on that motherfucker and let off a full clip in the front seat. I am not playing with you motherfuckers. And so I was like, please, God, once we, and that's the thing about being black in Los Angeles, like, or anywhere in the world, like, I got to deal with, or just being outside, I guess being a street kid, because these people aren't black, but like, you are circling the block looking for a problem. Like, I don't understand people who don't, like black and brown people in LA, like when we got robbed in Brazil, same shit, like, don't play the gun game with motherfuckers that play the gun game. Like, I was like, bro, I got a motherfucker driving around behind you that you don't even know, brought the artillery in his vehicle. And we know how to get in and out of these streets. You must not, bro. I was like, please, God, when this helicopter disappears and when these police let us go, God willing, let these motherfuckers be gone because they're looking for something that I know they're not prepared for. Because if they knew, like, did you think that I thought, oh, that's what maybe they heard. They thought we were rappers and act like maybe they thought she was like they didn't think we were from LA. Oh, it's all coming to me now. That's what it was. Cause I didn't understand like how anyone would, like, you lost that battle, bro. The fact that I didn't shoot you on the spot should have been enough for you to take your ass back to, I'm assuming, I'm going to make a stereotypical assessment that you were from Glendale, my Armenian brothers, that you just should have been on your way back to Glendale counting your blessings and hoping you never saw me again. But you circled Like that's what like, haha. Like you got the white privilege in that moment. Laugh it off and go home. Because you're eating at a restaurant and you are of lighter complexion. I'm the bad person. When you went out of your way to disrespect and insult my homie and then tried to stab him with a butter knife. Yeah, that's what the homegirl said. Is this West Side Story, son? The fuck is you doing? Yo, she was eating this dude up, like roasting him. And I'm like, cuz, I don't want to tell her shut up because I don't know, but I'm like, man. Oh, man. We saw Willy Wonka the other day. This is also, reminds me of a story of a woman that once told me they didn't want to date me because she's like, yo, you can't wear those Willy Wonka. I had the Willy Wonka, like Oompa Loompa, the white safety goggles I had on. I bought them from Hot Topic and I used to wear them all over the place.
Oompa Loompa Doompa-dee-doo, I've got a perfect puzzle for you.
I saw Imani Romai in the run-in video had like Ray-Ban goggles and I always wanted some, or Oakley goggles, and I wanted some. And then I got over it, but then I saw these and I'm like, oh, these are $20 and they're kind of like those. And I like Willy Wonka. I like kid shit. Fuck it. She's like, people will see you, son. They gonna try you. And I'm like, I don't give a. I was like, I'm walking this house. Who gives a fuck? I was like, but then that's like this before my big dread started growing out. Like I was like, oh, other men, especially insecure black men, have shit to say about other men's appearance under the pretense of being macho and not gay. To me, if a man's appearance moves you to comment on it in an excitable manner, that's gay, which is okay. But don't make me being a weirdo the reason you want to put your hands on me, because that seems like you just should maybe ask me on a date for some consensual touching. I don't get down like that. I will fuck you up. But if you have something slick to say something slick. But that's your insecurities or whatever it is. I don't know what sensibilities I'm offending, but she didn't want to date me because if I come to her hood, it's going to be problems. I was like, it's going to be problems because I'm wearing what I want? And you're concerned with what other men think about what I'm like. I guess that's like a natural thing where the female wants to be with a man that other men. I don't know. I'm just glad I didn't marry a woman like that. Fuck all that, bro. I've been doing that my whole life. Like I said, I'm on Melrose, and I guess like because I have comic books, motherfucker, shit looks sweet. I wear Willy Wonka goggles. Like I'm okay with you fucking around and finding out. I don't like. This is where the Okie dog thing comes in. Pink and pro wings with pink and green strings. I want you to say something. I had to get out of that habit. Like, am I wearing this because I want a reason to have to slap the shit out of someone? Because there was a time where I used to do that. I just got picked on so much. I was like, here it is. Come say something, please. So I could smack the shit out of you. Or take my walk. Like, people used to hide your Walkman here. Like, I just got tired. I got my Walkman taken and, it was just like, I'd rather just, I was like, well, once you put two hands on it, I could at least do something, It was an issue. Yeah, I had to explain to my wife that I had a Jafar scepter, like the scepter I bought from the Disney store. Or I don't know if I stole it, but I'm going to say that I bought it. I may have stole it, but like his little cobra scepter, and you push the button on the back and like mist comes out of its mouth and his eyes light up. I walked around high school with that.
Father, what's wrong with you?
I know what's wrong. Oh, my.
Your Highness, Jafar's been controlling you with this.
What? Jafar? You traitor!
Your Majesty, all this can be explained.
Guards!
Like, I will beat the shit out of you with this thing. Just say something, just for saying something to me, because I just got fed up. But that should have been a sign that the relationship was going to work. It didn't work out. We had fun. But the most epic time, I think we had a tattoo party at me and Eli's house. And the homie was doing free tattoos. I think it might have been the night before this fight. And then the girl I was seeing was a Napoleon Dynamite party. And it's right when Napoleon Dynamite kind of first came out. And she made like the nachos or whatever one of the meals were in there. And everybody got tattoos and watched Napoleon Dynamite and ate the meal. It was dope. So I guess we had such a good, unique, nerdy time.
Napoleon, don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with babes all day. Besides, we both know I'm training to become a cage fighter.
Since when, Kip? You have the worst reflexes of all time.
Try and hit me, Napoleon.
What?
I said come down here and see what happens if you try and hit me.
Such an idiot.
Let me see what your best move is.
That's the thing, too. It's like, it wasn't like old girl wasn't into weird shit with me. She just, I can't do that around hood people. And I'm like, I am a hood person or a hood adjacent, whatever. Like, I'm in the hood being this. I wore these goggles to the Slauson swap meet and Melrose and wherever the fuck. I'm going wherever I go in this. I'm going to go as me wherever. And you can fuck around and find out. Peace, y'all. Peace, y'all. Peace, y'all. Peace, y'all. Thanks for listening to the Best Rapper in LA podcast. Make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing on Spotify, Apple, wherever it is. If you like the show, leave a review on Apple Music or Spotify. And to support the podcast directly, go to patreon.com/MURS316, Murs316. See y'all next week. Peace.